Records are not the only sacred artifacts the Lord hides for future generations. We know from the Book of Mormon and modern revelation that certain artifacts were considered sacred enough to be under the charge of kings and eventually hidden up. These artifacts included what can only be considered regalia. The Book of Mormon identifies 4 specific items which became the sacred charge of kings. These items were passed from king to king along with a charge to keep them protected. King Benjamin gave a charge to his son Mosiah, who was to replace him as king, to keep the plates of brass, the plates of Nephi, the sword of Laban, and the ball or Liahona. These 4 items, along with the interpreters, constituted the royal regalia of the Nephite kings. Though there is no mention of a royal crown or scepter in the Book of Mormon, the sword of Laban does fit the pattern of the sword of state, and the Liahona, a ball with arrows, does fit the role of the globus cruciger, the globe and cross. But the significance of these sacred objects transcended the Nephite civilization. They were hidden up unto the Lord to be brought forth in our dispensation, the latter days. We know from his history that Joseph Smith received the gold plates and the Urim and Thummim from Moroni, the last Nephite caretaker of the sacred artifacts. As we know, Joseph used the Urim and Thummim to translate the record on the plates, which became the Book of Mormon. The sacred nature of the plates and Urim and Thummim was such that Joseph was forbidden to show them to anyone upon pain of death. We should note here that the Urim and Thummim, unlike the plates, were not of Nephite origin. We first learn of them in the Book of Mormon, when the brother of Jared was commanded to seal up his record and the interpretation, to go forth only in the latter days. The point here is that these particular stones were not original royal regalia of the Nephite kings, but were adopted as such. As we shall see, this was true of the sword of Laban as well, among other items of the regalia. We know from a revelation to the 3 witnesses that the sword of Laban and the Liahona were hidden up with the plates and Urim and Thummim. In June 1829, the Lord promised to show them to the witnesses if they relied on His word with full purpose of heart. According to David Whitmer, one of the witnesses, this promise was fulfilled. In his canonized history, Joseph Smith described the repository for the plates, its location, and the process by which he obtained the plates, the Urim and Thummim, and the breastplate. While the history is accurate, it is not complete. There is much more to the box and much more to its contents, which Joseph cryptically calls the other things.